Greetings and salutations, people of the internet. This is Master RBG. And today, I want to talk to you about something near and dear to my heart. A little game series released many moons ago that truly redefined in my mind what an RPG could be. What game could that be? I speak to you, of course, of Earthbound. A lovely little gem that totally flipped the RPG genre on its head. Up till that point, every RPG was set in a medieval fantasy setting, or the occasionally very rare space setting. But this one took place in modern times, with everyday kids, using things like bottle rockets, baseball bats, and yo-yos to fight off aliens. And it was so unique and charming and silly that you'd have to be the most cold-hearted SOB in the world to not like it, to not find it amusing. And for years, I have hoped that either the original game or the sequel to that game would eventually come here. So far, no luck whatsoever. Mercifully, somebody out there was also inspired by this game. So inspired, in fact, that they actually made a game that was a spiritual successor of a sort. What game might that be? Why, it's the very game I intend to review for you today. And that game, of course, being
Citizens of Earth!
Citizens of Earth is functionally similar to Earthbound. The battle system is very reminiscent of it, although not identical to it. It does improve upon a few things, like including what, for lack of a better term, is a special move system. Unfortunately, when this went on Kickstarter, it didn't actually make enough money to be finished. Mercifully, Atlas stepped in to help publish the game and to help them finish it. And I am so very, very glad that they did. Now, unlike Earthbound, you are not using a bunch of kids. No. This time, you're leading a group of adults, everyday citizens of the planet Earth, obviously. And who would lead such a team? Who would gather up such everyday heroes and use them to fight the forces of evil? I speak of only one man, a true leader amongst men. I speak of none other than the Vice President of the Earth!
Good morning, Pumpkin! Are you still in bed? I'm coming in! Rise and shine, sleepyhead. It's gorgeous out. You don't want to waste the day in bed, do you?
It's so early, Mom. Come back later.
Honestly, you can't spend your vacation lying in bed. And did you sleep in your brand new suit?
I had a late night. It's tough being Vice President of the world.
You've been in office one day. Oh, if only the voters could see you now, my son the slouch. At least go say hi to your brother. He took the day off to come and see you. You missed breakfast, by the way. Maybe you can stop by the bakery later, but don't spoil your appetite. We're having an early supper tonight.
Okay, I maybe possibly oversold that one just a little bit.
Check it out, Ma. My adoring public, here to congratulate me on my meteoric rise to power.
Actually, they don't look too happy.
Nonsense! That's envy, you see. This is exactly why I got into politics in the first place.
So glad you're home, Mr. VP.
Why, thank you. It's nice to relax after an election. You here for an autograph?
The only signing that's going on is my sign and your face.
Whoa! My face is my livelihood. Little bro, this is all you.
Honey, you have to learn to fight your own battles one day.
Okie dokie, folks, and here we have our first tutorial battle. Well, okay, you only get one of those in any given game, but you know what I mean. Anywho, if you've ever played a Dragon Quest game, Dragon Warrior Monster game, or the original Earthbound, or any of its prequel sequels, you already know how this battle system pretty much works. The biggest difference that they've made here, there's no MP bar. But that's okay, because they've actually substituted it with something much, much cooler. Instead of a magic bar, you basically have a special bar that fills up. Well, okay, it's not exactly a bar, it's actually little orbs. You can see them right there on the screen. Anywho, basically, for every regular move you perform, you fill it up by one segment. And each special move costs at least one or more of those little segments in order to pull off. So even if you're stranded in the middle of a dungeon, you can still pull off special moves. You're just going to have to do a few regular attacks first. And that's a-okay. Also, nifty little feature they've got here. Depending on who's in your party when you guys level up, it'll also change what stats grow at what rate. Like one character being in your party might raise HP every time you level up, while somebody else might raise speed or special defense. Really adds an extra layer of strategy when you're actually forming your crew. Which is pretty awesome, to be perfectly honest.
Best!
I knew I could do.
So, you're allowed to roam around the town for a little bit. You end up fighting a bunch of the protesters. And of course you get introduced to a few of the citizens who at some point in the not too distant future you'll be able to recruit for your team. Of course not before you do some sort of a quest or whatever in order to gain their confidence so that they'll actually join you. Because just because you're vice president of the world doesn't automatically mean you have authority over everybody. Even though that kind of goes against logic, but whatever. Anywho, so you talk to people, you fight protesters, until eventually you find your way to Moonbucks. And Moonbucks is basically this universe's version of Starbucks, only there's not another one exactly like it across the street from the first one you find.
You look like a man who knows where to get a good strong sarsaparilla.
You're in luck, my friend. I own the local soda shop. But to be honest, I think I'll just stay here all day. This iced special blend is drinking quite well today.
Guys with beards don't like being disturbed from their coffee. I'll leave him be.
This protest is interrupting school. Oh well.
Preposterous! Let me see what I can do about this.
I don't mind, so long as I got this delicious special blend.
Either he's one of those caffeine junkies you hear about, or something weird's going on here.
Psst. Hey, come here.
Huh?
Yeah, you.
What can I do for you, taxpayer?
I don't pay taxes. I also don't drink the coffee. Neither should you.
Taxes and coffee are two of my favorite things.
They contaminated the coffee. Can't you taste it? It's so dark and aromatic. Bold even. Too bold. I was abducted once, you know. Aliens. They ran tests on me. Back in Uranus.
We here at Master RBG Reviews do not approve of such lowbrow and infantile humor, which is why we shall be attempting to avoid such humor in the future. Thank you for your time. Back to the review.
They walk among us, don't you get it? Don't things seem just a little bit off to you?
We need proof. It's the only way. Proof and a refill. Lots of refills.
Here's what we'll do. You go find proof while I head to the police station.
So after talking to the conspiracy guy, you basically find out that there might be more than meets the eye at this Moonbucks place. Not at all like actual Starbucks once again. This is purely a work of fiction. I did mention that, right? Good. Just checking. Anywho, so, you find out that the manager has gone missing, he has the keys, and you might have to walk around town and find some evidence that there is in fact some shady business going on at the Moonbucks.
Something weird's going on at Moonbucks. I've never heard of a substance as addictive as this special blend.
So as it turns out, Conspiracy Guy was right. There was something wrong over at Moonbucks. Apparently those beans are alive. Not as bad as Soylent coffee, but still pretty bad. Anywho, gotta go find all 3 beans and beat 'em up into submission. So after beating up all those coffee beans and collecting the quote-unquote evidence, you go to the police station to deliver it and see how the conspiracy guy is doing. He isn't doing well. He got locked up by the police. So, since he is in fact one of the people you can recruit, you must help him, even though he's a nut. Anywho, so, you spring him from jail, and then you move on with your quest. But before you can get back to the matter at hand with Moonbucks, you find out the true source of this nonsensical protest against the Vice President. It's none other than his former opponent in the election. And it turns out that he's threatening the local bakery owner to try and get food for his protesters. The Fiend! He must be stopped at all costs. No one threatens donut makers in my town. After defeating his former opponent, again, but this time in fisticuffs, the VP sends away all the protesters, and once again peace is restored to the land. But there's still the whole mystery of what's going on with Moonbucks to solve. Maybe in the forest we might find something else about it. But that's for another day.
And that was Citizens of Earth, a wonderful little RPG ROM made by the wonderful folks over at Eden and Atlas Games. So, what did I think of it? Well, to be perfectly honest, I wanted to give this game a gold award. However, a couple of things hold it back. Number one, sometimes the objectives are not as clear as they ought to be. Like when I was hunting around for the evidence for that whole coffee bean debacle. Yeah, that wasn't really super clear that I was supposed to go out and fight coffee beans. At least not until I actually found the first coffee bean and fought it. A little unclear. The other issue that holds this game back are loading times. I actually edited them out of this video, mostly because they came up way too often. But every time you enter and exit a building, there's a loading screen. I'm told they're not as bad as they used to be, and I have no doubt that in a future update, they'll probably cut them down considerably more. But for the time being, it's still an issue. Overall, what do I give this game? I'd give it a solid silver award. It's a great game with lots of personality and a great sense of humor. Give it a try if you ever get the chance. If it's on sale, definitely grab it. Anywho, that's all for me on this week. Have a good one, guys and gals. This is Master RBG signing off.